Oh, um, we are going into game one with the character selection. Looking at it, lots of caustics being shown out.
Yep.
This game one will be shown on the map of World's Edge.
Is the classic starting point of any Apex tournament. We're here with Console Gaming League today. We are just going to be casting some scrims, nothing too serious, but we've got a lot of teams here, all going to be competing and trying their best to get some good practice in, get some of these reps in on their drop spots. Have to see if there are any contests starting out, Cherry. I don't know. I don't really see anything off rip.
Looks like there's going to be two teams contesting this first drop spot at Fragment at least. Seeing a couple teams going to Lava with the TRS and Beep, by the looks of it, playing at the Lava Siphon, which I know they are rotating out.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of teams pretty spread out on this map. You don't see too many contests. That's a good thing in scrims. I gotta say, having scrimmed quite a bit myself, you never like to see that like 15 teams right after drop because everybody needed to ego contest each other. Just finding a good POI and playing from it is a lot more beneficial than just dying off contest every time.
Yeah, they all want to get there. All want that late end game, not really playing against each other, and just trying to wait it out. Because that's the whole point of scrims, to play in that really competitive environment instead of just 1v1ing off rip.
Absolutely, and that's what you can't get in ranked or in pubs or whatever. You can only really get end game practice in scrims. You can't just load into a ranked game and expect there to be 8 teams left for the final zone because that just doesn't happen.
It looks like we are getting two teams. We have...
Yeah, there's a possibility that these two frag teams are going to collide. We've got Slobba My Rob's Dirty Skirty and Senor Soul here for ATF. They're taking their time here in frag, which is all right. We'll swap over to Big's perspective, and these guys are taking a look up in this vault now, over by No Name and Geyser and Overlook, whatever you want to call this area.
They have nobody really contesting them that much.
Looks like we are into a bit of a fight over here, though.
99. Looking like they are trying to get engaged, getting some decent hits off with the G7 Scout, trying to fight this, but they will be third-partied by the rest of the team from the back.
Yeah, that G7 Scout, it's really good. It's getting a lot of looks in the current Pro League meta. 30-30 is the go-to marksman, but seems like HTK Saint going to get pushed away. Probably just going to have to play their lives, as 99 seems to have done a really good job of winning that fight quickly.
Yes, HTK will be able to keep this location for themselves. While HTK is Saint's trying to run away. They do not have the Umbrella's banner yet, which they will need to get to. Saint does have the golden helmet. He might be able to get some decent cues off, trying to get the info on where the enemy is to try and get the banner back. Looks like they will be trying to go for it. Dabsy is going to be going for the first push up the ramp.
They definitely need to get this banner. They don't have the means to craft their teammate back here, so that will be very important. We take a look now at Tsunami. Looks like they've got a bit of a fight going on over here at the Andrews.
Andrew 1 has the golden shield. Will be able to get a decent amount of health back with that, and they do seem to be going with a more defensive style composition here, and they get a lot of damage off on Rezi already, who will pop his ult out immediately to stop any aggression, but it doesn't look like they want any aggression in the first place.
Yeah, definitely sitting back here with the marksmans, really trying to open things up. You're going to see this R99 that's in the crafter. Rezi is going to go down, though, and get finished. Ouch. That is tough for one hitter. They're kind of stuck out here in no man's land, and Real McCoy is going to get punished for that, though that 30-30 not quite hitting. There we go.
That's the final kill. Glue 3 trying to play it passively by the looks of it. He
does seem to have made it out, yeah, and The Andrews now have this incredible high ground here, fortified up with this Rampart. They're playing Rampart Catalyst, which I don't think is the meta here. When you're playing a Rampart, generally you want to have the Rampart as your anchor, and then you want to have two characters that can kind of either get you a lot of information or get you a lot of space, whether that's a Seer or a Crypto, and then a Horizon or a Valkyrie. But the spot in center zone, I mean, that might be the comp to play.
ATF out here. They do have all three of their players alive, and they're right by the zone. They're not in a terrible spot. Looks like they're just trying to get back in zone. They will be taking this high ground, little canyon area, going in towards the zone. They do spot another team. So my Rob throws in his C's to get this fight started. Throws in some decent shots.
It's a bit early on that Ash Q, but it might actually work out in their favor, as I think they do have another crack as well. Rob taking a little break in the middle of fight to go loot.
It looks like we're switching to Big, who has a Sentinel, sees an enemy, tries to get hits off, doesn't actually receive any damage for that.
Yeah, nice loadout there with that Prowler. We've seen the Prowler almost, I would say, on 2 players on every team in ALGS playoffs, which is happening currently. And here we see the triple take, another gun that I've seen way more of than I kind of expected in ALGS playoffs as well.
We'll get a decent amount of damage off, gets 40, but they will be trading that into Noble Gamer, who will have to shield up. First Seer Q comes out, getting a little bit of information for them. They are all trapped in this building. They know that they cannot fight this, or else they will all get beamed off immediately. And a grenade will get thrown, and they take a first engagement here with the 30-30 repeater. Does not get any shots in. Looks like they will counter that with a Horizon ult, which breaks the door, but it will not get any damage.
That mid area is so easy to push from because you can just kind of spread out along the 3 doors here. It seems like the team they were looking for has evacuated, and ATF now on a bit of a flank here. They're going to look for a kill. Can't quite get it.
They do crack the shield, though, and Dirty Skirty is going to keep trying to get extra damage in by throwing 2 frag grenades. Will not get any damage with it, and Senior Soul is going to keep up and go with his team. They're trying to get that extra little advantage, throwing grenades everywhere on the map. They cannot find out where their enemies are.
Ultimately, you have to remember, these fights are really over crafters. They are easily one of the most valuable resources. It's a win-loss kind of deal when you land on a crafter, because on one hand, you get first dibs on the crafter. But on the other hand, it is so likely that somebody who loots fast is going to pull up on you because they're going to want your crafter. And that seems to be what's going on here, because this isn't a great spot to be in fighting right now. Nobody really wants to sit there for endgame. They just all want access to the crafter.
So we're switching to Wee and Dabsy getting shot at. Will have to go into the zone by the looks of it. And he has very low HP. Will he be able to get out? He does have 1 syringe left, so he will be able to get out pretty easily here. Just be able to heal up a little bit. He doesn't have either of his teammates' banners, though. So that clearly did not work out for them.
No, not at all. The Umbra long since split out. And here we have FF over here, Fates, and it looks like Forever Dreamerson. Seems to be in a bit of an engagement over here. The Seerall is up. Run down. The team with the Seerall. Yeah. Oh, Dangeron's gonna go down. Here comes that Prowler singing. Very nice shots there from Ultrasonic.
They will have to pick, and that's another one off their team. Water Otters seems to be taking it down and just not even trying to take that fight anymore.
Yeah, just way too much damage up front. As we see again, there is Prime Champions going down. The kills kind of just coming to Fates and Dreamerson right now. They don't really have to move at all. People are just walking into the building and dying to them.
They're playing a 2v3 and still somehow winning these. They do spot another person by the looks of it. And they're trying to get some extra loot to fight this. since neither of them are full HP, but they will get their surrenders off. Peeking the door, see if they're pushing in. Doesn't look like they care too much about that anymore.
Definitely just some downtime to loot. We go back out here, and there's that G7 scout. Rundown is gone.
It's a whole team off the match already. 16 squads remaining, 41 players. They're trying to get extra damage. Slasher only needs 7 more damage until his Evo shield is at the next level. And it will seem like they're alone for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. We see, though, Goons hanging out in the zone. They're going to be swinging up here. They might run into Fates and company up in that main building, or they may swing left, get into that action as quickly as possible. They're just looking to get out of zone here, I think. This building is going to be a great spot to play because it has access both to the choke on the right side and to that open area on the left, where I think this zone is more likely to pull.
It looks like UNCW will be fighting here, trying to get through this wall. See some people with the Q.
Yeah, UNCW in a great spot out here to hold teams out after this next zone closes, because it is going to pull away from this building. It's going to be a bit of an issue, though, as Goons now kind of trapped inside. They've got a lot of people on the outsides here.
They're doing a lot of damage with that. They're able to take more fights, but they lose their first player. Spen alone will be able to get the final kill on the team, and he's rezzing their Hyper Zakvix. But day 1 of KVM is already taken out. They're going to have to... Oh, shit. Sorry, I thought that was a reboot that they needed.
Luckily, they are also right next to Respawn, so, you know, if it was, I don't think that would have been too big of a deal. But really nice play there from Goons, especially from Spen. I love to see some Peacekeeper play, so that's excellent. What I don't love to see is some Nemesis play. That gun, not fun to play against at all. It's so powerful, so dominant right now.
CPT is barely in the zone. They will be able to hold teams out if they need to, but it doesn't look like they even have to find anybody since nobody's really trying to come up on them. They're just sitting under the... And now we are switching over to the next team, who are in a little bit of an engagement here with some decent damage. The portal will come out from Yunjin.
He's going to go for it. Yeah, he's going to definitely take a bit of an aggressive approach here using that portal. It's a free way in and a free way out, more importantly. Though it seems like the enemy team has evacuated, and they're able to slide down into what I think is kind of a worse position here. They're now stuck at the bottom of this hill in Graveyard, and they had that truck all to themselves up top.
Yeah. Looks like they're going to be coming in on the iTrash aim beef,
and
they will take him out instantly. And they're able to get
shots
another
there.
one.
Definitely a tough flank for the team getting flanked there. Trash aim, I would not want to be him, as we see in the kill feed. Hopladamus also going down. And that's a nice little play there from CPT. I doubted them, and I doubted their positioning, but they're getting back into it here. With Fates. Fates going to go down. He gets put down by that Peacekeeper yet again, and now it's just tragic in a 1v1 here. He is going to clean it up.
1v1.
That two man, they were they felt like a 3-man, I'm sure, to the teams that they were fighting.
They just gotta hope nobody comes in and third parties them, but the yellow backpack will give them that extra HP, so none of them will get taken down immediately. The Phoenix comes out from Yunjin, but we switch over to BIG, who have no shields. They're in a very bad position here, but they are able to get rezzed after winning that team fight. But the zone is coming in on them. They will not have any time at all to stay here. The Arcstar comes out, that's going to block the door, and we also gets taken out by the looks of it. He's able to survive for a little bit longer. But that zone's going to
push them right out. Yep. That is not a position I want to be in if I'm Big and Rob and ATF. No problems for them cleaning that fight up from the high ground. And they get this truck that was previously vacated, so they've got quite a good looking spot in zone. Only 9 teams left. Not a lot for a zone of this size, so there's a lot of space for them to play as well. That's a big shot coming in.
Dirty Skirty will get a decent amount of damage coming in towards him, but only 2 shield cells are required to get that all the way back up. And Illusion GM is just hiding here. He knows he has no teammates left, and he's just trying to wait out the circle to get a high placement points.
Yeah, you're going to have to rat at that point. That's all right. It is a good way to get things done. No kills on the board for Savages, but this is a decent spot. Hopefully this team below him, ATF, hopefully they clear out, and he's able to just kind of follow them in as they clear a path for him. I do love to see Dirty Skirty on that Pathfinder. Not something you see every day in Comp Apex. Back when I first started playing, Pathfinder was hard meta. And since then, he has become one of the worst legends in the game. It's really sad to see.
He has mobility and he has a high skill ceiling, but that high skill ceiling does not mean he's very strong. And a lot of damage will come into Yunjin. He's going to have to heal up after being destroyed by Sobbed on my Robin. He will take out another kill. Goes for the flatline, gets the crack on the Bangalore. Goes on the top.
Oh, nice shot by Rob. Big PK shots coming in here. Oh, CPT almost clutches that up, but they go down. AAC going down too. We're down to 6 squads, and what is a massive zone. These guys should have no trouble finding a spot.
Agreed. There's not a... But it looks like Saba, my Rob, and the rest of that team is not even close to being able to get into that zone. They're going to have to walk all the way through this land and try to get their way there. They're the only team that's this far, except for Skanky, but they have looks like a jump tower or something like that that's going to let them get all the way into the middle of the zone, where they'll have a great position.
Absolutely. They'll be able to take that RV for free, it looks like, if they want it, which maybe they don't. It's a little bit more... I guess adaptable to play spread here. Play some of those rocks for cover. And it's just the same Andrews hanging out up top.
Their spot.
Ooh, and there goes the rat. Looks like Dirty Skirty and ATF did end up finding that rat. So Illusion goes down and the Savages are out. 5th place, not too shabby considering their game might have ended a little bit earlier.
It looks like Andrews will just keep camping up here with the Rampart and all the rest of their very Sentinel. Keep it together. They do not even budge. They're going to try to get some damage down on Glue 3 and the real McCoy. With an Arc Star being thrown, doesn't get any damage, but Saba, my Rob, will take an engagement with Dirty Skirty, and they get a decent amount of damage. Senior Soul comes in. Saba, my Rob will be the first one to take him down. Rezi is already finished, and Glue 3 and the rest of them are already taken out.
Down goes one hitter, but now it's really going to be tough to get Rob back on his feet. This final zone, people know. They're watching the kill feed. They know who's up, who's down, but it seems like ATF going to get back on their feet here. They are going to be able to continue looting up, getting their way back into this final zone here.
3 teams remaining, all on 3 different sides. It looks like potentially the Andrew team has the worst position, being in the middle of both of these other teams who only seem to be caring about them. But they do have the high ground, which could be a big advantage. And
they do have the most cover. One of the best spots to play in this zone is dropping directly below where the Andrews are as well. And they have full access to that spot with really nobody to punish them. So they are pinched currently, but they also have full control of the height and full control of the low ground. Though, as I say that, here comes ATF up onto the height. They've got something to say about full control.
Yes, ATF will be taking this high ground, trying to get a fight on them, which could be a good thing for them, because if they wait this, if Swansea and Stinky and all of them, they wait there, they're gonna have a 3v3 if this doesn't do anything different here.
Yeah, it seems like they're just content to play the backside of this tower for now. Andrews and company just gonna be hanging out, keeping their eyes out. Andrew 3 gets very low. Oh my gosh, you do not want to be getting that low with a full 3 looking at you. And probably some nades flying up from the other side soon.
So they start throwing out their utility towards them, and they do get a decent amount of damage out, making one of them fall off the high ground.
Yeah, I feel like
refused to budge though.
I feel like they should have been dumping a lot more utility into this since the start, really trying to force them off of that high ground, though it doesn't seem like they have a ton of nades. That's where a Loba comes in handy on those Rampart compositions as well. Whenever you're going to sit in the middle of zone somewhere, you kind of want a Loba to refresh yourself off those enemy boxes without having to move.
So Johnsy was trying to shoot at this card, trying to get an early damage, but he doesn't actually find anything. Although he does have a lot of shields, he can take these fights. 14 shield cells remaining will give him a decent amount of extra health, so he can take fights, get a little bit of damage off. He's just gotta try and out-shield them, and then he wins, I guess. As long as there's no extra complications of a push or something like that. So looks like Andrew's trying to take siege.
They're finally making use of all of this space that they have. They forced ATF off of that height, and they're now able to use all of the different sight lines and all of the peaks and really stay spread out on that height, cause problems for both teams below them. When you've got that height, you can really deal with both teams. Oh, that zip! Andrew gets punished.
Slava My Rob also is very low, though, but it looks like Dirty Skirty is going to try and get the finish. He will not get it with a blue shield coming out. Slava My Rob still staying that height. He's trying to get damage off. Senior Soul going for heals while My Rob's saving him.
Definitely a tough position to be in if you're ATF here. You did get that pick onto the Andrews, but they still have a great spot. Here comes Andrew 2 trying to come in. That Prowler is hitting, but it is not going to be enough. He gets very low. Has to hide now, and he gets taken down through his teammate. Andrew 1 is going to take care of Slob, though, so that's a nice trade. Slob is going to get full killed, and all of a sudden, ATF not looking as clean as they did before.
Dirty Skirty's Swamsy's taking his height, and he tries to get it, but he falls all the way back to the bottom. He has to use his shield battery before anyone starts shooting him. He gets the heals off by the looks of it.
Swanzini does get that off. That's impressive. Johnsy and Stanky, they are going to clean things up, and that is a very nice win for Apex Goons. They played it patiently. They sat in their RV until things started popping off on the other side of the zone, and they just walked in, cleaned things up.
That was a very good round. I was surprised that the team that was just playing high ground didn't even have to leave their spot from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that high ground turned out to be not really what they wanted it to be. Playing against a Pathfinder when you're on the high ground can be really tough. It's not as scary as maybe at Horizon, but we saw they all three took that zip. The second Andrew took that off angle, and they just punished him almost instantly. Andrew tried to stay in there, beam somebody off the zip line, and he just didn't have the damage output to do that.
Yeah, it was a very, very strong game, very good end game. I don't know. I was surprised that it lasted that long. I don't know. I really thought that there was going to be like a really big fight coming down when the first team got on high ground. I thought one of them would have to drop down immediately because you can't have two teams fighting up there, but they were able to just to let each other be. They played their cover and lasted as long as they needed to.
And I think that was maybe a little bit of a lack of pressure from the Andrews there as well. The second they zipped up, they didn't seem too invested in getting them off of that height. They seemed still a little bit concerned with that team in the RV below them, or they didn't want a full commit utility to get them off that height. But really, as soon as they started looking in the direction of ATF, they had to drop. You do that earlier, and maybe you have better control of that height, and you don't get punished that way.
Yes, I agree.
And I think we are going to be kicking it to a break before Game 2. So we will be right back with more CGL action. And welcome back to CGL Scrim Night. I am Chunk. With me here is Cherry. We had our game one. I think it went pretty well, all things considered. We had a nice, neat little end game, even though we didn't maybe have as many teams as you'd like to see in the end game in Scrims, but it still turned out to be pretty exciting.
Yes, ATF popped off there. 15 kills in one game alone. That's insane. Especially with a Pathfinder. Like, who plays Pathfinder anymore? That's crazy. But they still did it, and they came second with that. Insane.
Yeah. The Pathfinder worked out great, too. They had a lot of control on the high ground. They had both the Ash and the Pathfinder, so fast rotations all the time for the whole team, which was really nice for them. They were able to work their way from, kind of one of the edges of zone and sort of clear their way inward, which is really what you want to do when you play edge, is you want to clear an entire edge, so that way when you do finally get to zone, you don't have to worry about teams coming up behind you. So I think we are about to take a look here at the game one standings. Maybe not. But yeah, I think that a few teams really also looked great. Tsunami, which is the team with all the Andrews, they found their way to center of zone just like that, super quickly. And they were able to just kind of sit there, dominate the entire space until eventually they did get pushed, but they looked really good doing it.
Yeah, and even when they were like pushed on high ground, they didn't even give that up for like a decent amount of time. They stayed up there for like a strong minute, like maybe 45 seconds before like the other teams said, no, this is our high ground, you don't get this. And then even after that, they still did pretty good. They made it very far.
Yeah, ATF really able to bully teams off of that height. Ultimately, though, it was all things considered, a pretty empty endgame. Wondering if more teams are going to maybe slow things down, play a little bit more zone-oriented here, try to get to that end game, try to get those placement points racked up. And one thing you learn playing zone is that you're usually going to get a lot more kills sitting at one part of the zone, letting a bunch of people walk into you and kill them. I think our duo, FF, last game, they were kind of able to do that, sitting in that one building of Countdown, I believe. And they ended up 5 kills, just kind of walked right into it. So we'll see how they play here.
We're going into game 2. Looks like we're starting this out with a bunch of teams already dropping off. Looks like we're going to get maybe a contest from Big Stacks to Stacks. Looks like we got the TRS against another team that are going to be contesting there with those two small locations, and they're going to probably have to fight eventually if they want to get some extra info and on where the other teams are.
Looks like we do have a real Harvester contest, though. At some point, we might be able to take a look at that. But first, we'll be looking at Epicenter here. It's a nice little drop for TF141. As we see them, they're just going to be able to loot that pretty quickly, get things done. But they are also, they are going to take the Survey Camp Epicenter combo drop, which honestly is a pretty good idea, because unless you get that bridge with Epicenter, there's just not enough loot there for a full team.
It looks like they're going to get a decent amount of loot from this area, and they have a decent composition running as well, with not really a defensive thing. It looks like they are going to be trying to go for like a lot of pushes whenever they need to, since they have a lot of mobility coming from the horizon. They have the intel, or the fast on pace intel from the seer. Like that, this is going to be a very good game for them, along with the crafter, which they are going to use to their absolute advantage.
Definitely one of the most meta edge compositions right now, especially on a Digi Day, which, for those of you who don't know, the crafting rotation, the loot in the crafter that you're able to craft with the crafting points, changes every day. And today, digital threat scope is in there. So when you run that Bangalore with the digital threat scope, you can see through all of the smokes. And basically, you're giving yourself wall hacks. So definitely a good call to play Bangalore today. And you run it with that Horizon Seer, and you've got one of the most meta comps in the game right now for teams that want to clean up fights quickly, and like you said, just be really aggressive and push things.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get more Bangalore compositions, seeing as it is in the Harvester. Since, that's just, it's too strong not to use. But I guess all these teams have practiced with what they're using, and they're gonna stick with it until it doesn't work.
Absolutely. Apex players can be stubborn. So we see RRE. Looks like they did take some damage here in Geyser. Maybe there is, yeah, it looks like there is maybe a little bit of a rotation fight here. One of the teams, maybe from Stacks or from Big Mod rotating over. Or is that the Geyser team that came through the tunnel over here? They're going to use that crafter to their advantage. So we see teams really poking at each other, hurting each other for rights to that crafter.
And it looks like Pro Style Aiming and Cool MMK are going to be alone. Their third has left them using the Geyser to, I guess, claim space, do something else. I don't know what they were doing over there, but we'll see what they try to accomplish with that.
I think they were definitely just trying to make sure that they didn't have any chance at getting to the crafter, because from what I know about Geyser teams, they loot pretty slow. You're not always looking at a fast loot on Geyser. And so by the time you get to that crafter, sometimes these other teams have already moved in. And it looks like that's exactly what happened with Big here. So they were able to take advantage of a slow-moving Geyser team and steal the crafter right out from under them.
Yeah, and they already got it. They don't even need it anymore. They've used all their crafting materials that they can. And they're just going to play their game. They don't need to rotate that far. The zone is right on them, basically. They have everything that they could ever need.
It looks like there is a bit of a fight going on in our kill feed here. So we see, TF141 has already lost one. And they are stuck in a 2v3 here.
The black hole will be released, and it almost grabs them, but it looks like Yunjin will be able to escape it along with You Look Lonely, but I'm Tragic will get taken down along with Hawk614. While he is healing right now, they use the sealed battery, and it looks like he's going to get taken down as well. That's a full team down by CPT.
And it's really tough because we know where TF141 is coming from. We know that they're rotating from that survey camp epicenter drop. They had a crafter there. They didn't need to be at such an armored disadvantage going up against this team. They could have all easily crafted up to at least blues, and they were walking in on 2 whites. So that's just, I think, a bit of an oversight when it comes to using your loot and using your landing. And we see why it's so easy to get punished for it, because they kind of got walked through there by Eugen and company.
Yeah, it looks like we will get another engagement here from Dreamerson, doing a little bit of damage to both You Look Lonely and Eugen. And Eugen will pull out the portal with a Wraith, trying to get a new position, puts it in the building, goes to get the high ground up here. Let's see if her team, and it looks like the teams are going to be using it.
FF just pressing W key here. They are looking to get on top of this building, and oof, that is a ton of damage coming out from Dreamerson. Looks like Logan and Dreamerson both going to find picks there. Very nice, clean team fight there. They've just got to finally finish things up here, and there goes CPT.
The whole team just got destroyed right after they got a nice team swipe. I don't even think they lost a single person there, but then they get instantly taken out, and that's another big fight coming in. Looks like it, with a Bangalore ult being dropped. Will be Forever Dreamerson versus Big Ben, and looks like we're getting a first engagement here with Faiths trying to shoot out on the high ground, but it looks like they're going to respect each other's space.
Yeah, Fates just gets punished there just a little bit for over-peaking that angle. Maybe a little confident after winning that fight and wearing that purple armor. He's going to get back up and get healthy. Meanwhile, the rest of FF kind of has to start thinking about this zone here. It does not pull, from what I know, all the way back to Skyhook. So they're going to have to think about probably taking that tunnel at some point. That is going to be the winning position for a while at least. Meanwhile, on the other side of zone, looks like Big is getting active, getting into things here against Night Raid.
Yep, that's the first crack coming out with Hoplodamus having to use his first shield battery with 3 more left. Decent amount of HP. Big will get ulted by the looks of it. They're trying to get some damage out with the G7 Scout, but they will not get any actual damage.
Yeah, things seem to have quieted down. Big maybe not being as aggressive as they could be. You got that caustic ult. You got all these guys stuck in a building. There's only one thing I can think of doing, and that's pressing the W key and using that caustic ult. Meanwhile, FF's still getting active over here. They are putting out a ton of damage with that Nemesis there. I've said it once. That gun is just very dominant in
And
Apex
there it
Legends.
goes again. They almost get another crack.
Lots happening now on our feed here.
UNCW in a bit of a pickle while they are taking out ATF by the looks of it with a 2v3, and the finisher will come out. UNCW just holding this building.
It's very weird to see ATF dying so early after such a dominant team fighting performance last game. They didn't get the win, but they did look very, very good getting that second place. So losing one early for them is going to be very tough.
Looks like day one of KBM is going to start pushing CGL, but the shield will come out, but it doesn't matter. Lots of damage, and he takes out Bile, getting destroyed from the other direction. Dirty Skirty trying to save his teammate, but it will not matter. He already gets taken out.
Day one does a nice job of winning that 1v1 with the support, through the support of Dirty Skirty. Dirty Skirty had the angle on that and still couldn't put enough damage in for Rob to win that.
DRS in a bit of a fight here. They will use their Cyril to get that advantage. He's not damage coming in with the Bangalore smoke. He will try to use his advantage, but it will not matter. RR3 almost completely taken out with one person, Cool Minky, the last one alive. He's going to have to try to get his teammates banner if he wants to get any chance of getting back in this game. But TRS, they're on the hunt. They want this in blood, and they will be trying to find it, I think.
Yeah, definitely an aggressive push here from TRS. They're going to push right up on Cool, and he is going to get taken out finally. So RRE goes down in 18th. Not the performance they were looking for, maybe, but getting caught on these slopes outside of Fragment is almost always a death sentence. As we see, TRS is learning that the hard way. So this time it's going to be AAC pushing in the third part.
And AAC try and get that damage, but they will back off as soon as that Bangalore goes off. And it looks like TRS trying to get extra damage, but they will not get anything. They see that there's another team here. They're trying to stick together. They're not trying to lose anyone yet. They need to let that Bangalore heal, but it will not matter. The Bangalore will get taken down at the first.
Yeah, it looks like Jonathan, Bernie, and company pushing down this hill here. And again, that's why this hill is such a bad spot to be. You can get pushed from just about any angle, and there's nowhere to escape to. There's no buildings, no nothing to get a reset in. It's TRS just getting chunked down here. I don't think they live through this engagement here.
Yep, and that's another one taken out. That's a one person left on that team. It looks like that's going to be the last one. They want this. Bernie the third will try to push this. He gets a little bit of damage off. Just again. Goes for the finisher just to make sure that these kills get finished and there's no chance of any survival. They want that loot. They want everything. TRS Zooks will be the last one alive on this team with a shield battery. Just going to play passively for the rest of the game by the looks of it.
Yeah, Xylox in a really tough spot now in a crowded Fragment, trying to deal with just getting as far away from that Seer Crypto team as possible, which, I'll be honest, I don't blame him. That is a scary thing to fight against as a rat.
We're going to push into the zone with the rest of the goons taking this building. FF trying to get damage in, but they're all relatively low. Not a lot of shield to go in throughout the team. Prime Champions, one of them remaining. Finish will come out on Blix, and see just will get taken out.
Yeah, Prime Champions gets put down there by FF. That was the engagement we kind of saw happening for quite a while. And now it's going to be up to FF. I was talking earlier about what they would decide to do in regards to this zone. As we see now, it's really pulling pretty far outside of Skyhook. So they need to decide, are they going to wrap around this mountain here, maybe take that building, or head into the tunnel? So we get into quite the engagement over here. Night Raid looking to get some stuff done. Hopladamus gets down to 1. He gets the bat off, but Urk is not so lucky. He's going to fall. And AAC goes down. Nice shooting there from Gem. Going to be able to take some people out.
That engage didn't even come from them. The other team tried pushing them first, and they couldn't get any kills off that. They had to only get one knockdown, and they will use the Bangalore smoke. Code and Crazy will use the Bangalore smoke to their advantage with the Prowler, getting a lot of damage, taking a knock, trying to get another fight, cracks his shield, gets the next. Bernie the third, taking out two, just one more to become the third. Night Raid, only one person left, Europe FCS.
Night Raid just got caught looting boxes there. You hate to see it. They were just not really aware of their surroundings there. They got the team wipe they wanted, and then just kind of stood there looting boxes. And now they're going to get punished for it by goons here. They are going to clean things up. Hopefully same thing doesn't happen to goons here. Everybody should not be in this box at the same time, I'll tell you. It's a little scary.
Looks like we have a couple teams in this general area here around this big tower. Looks like we're going to get an engage on Dangerin by the 3v1. Ultrasonic Beast and Water Otters are going to have to try and help him before he gets taken down. But it looks like they're able to do some... A little bit of Dangerin's going to get a lot of damage taken.
Big shots coming out here on that Nemesis yet again. Here comes the Prowler as well. That Prowler is singing. I want to get people very low. Rundown also very low, though. They're healing up, and oh, that's an intense push there from Cone Snail. He is going to go for a one-for-one trade there. Slasher not going to get the same treatment. Yes, he will, actually. Jonathan coming in to clean it up, and now we've got a 1v1.
Fast Measure will be using this shield to his advantage to try and get the heal off, but the grenade will stop that immediately. Just a battle of the knockdown shields here. Looks like Percy will probably get taken down here. He's very low HP and has to reload.
Ooh. Yeah, Percy just not enough health there to deal with Water Otters, who's got a Taskmaster in his name. I wonder if that's his favorite Apex Legends professional player. Might be.
Derby getting decent amount of damage out with the R99. Not a lot of shields left, but he's going to have to take out another one. He will get the Horizon down. Derby, 1 HP, and he will start bleeding out.
Say 1v1 here for Fates, and he wins that easily. That is prime range for that controller car right there. That is how to get things done. He's gonna have to run away though. This is not a friendly push here at all from Xylux. That is our rat, if you remember correctly, from early on. TRS got taken down.
He's out for blood, trying to get this third party off right after a battle gets finished. He will use his shield battery to get the remaining of his shield up, which isn't a ton, but he can use this to get this final damage if he can. That would be very big for his team.
Just hanging around here now, not really sure what the plan is from FF. Taking a lot of fire from different teams. Logan does actually get full killed there, so that is tough if you're FF. Stuck as a duo again, it's going to be Fates and Dreamerson. They at least have a little bit experience playing as a duo after last game.
Looks like Water Otters and Duncan will be in a similar fight here. The CRQ will... I think that did scan them, didn't that? It looked like it did.
I think it just missed, but even if you are any of these teams here on that choke looking to fight, you've got Tsunami and friends all over here on the other side of that choke. So if you engage too fast, you're definitely going to get third-partied. Only 5 teams left in, again, a very big zone here. Nobody should really have trouble finding a spot to play.
It looks like Andrew and friends are just all trying to like get this high ground-ish area, and they want to do what they did last time, where they want to set up and not leave, but it looks like that won't even be able to happen.
Yeah, Tsunami getting very cornered down here. They are not looking too happy with their positioning. It went from good to bad very quick. They didn't really watch their backs, and Fates, they just kind of got to walk up behind him here onto this miniature high ground. Forever Dreamers trying to get that bat off. As a duo, I'm not going to lie, Cherry, they look pretty good.
They do look really good here. And they have experience. These are the two people that duoed last game, because I don't even think Logan was there. And Water Otters will be able to take out another one for this kill streak.
Savages goes down, and now it is the last fight. Rundown should be able to run this down, clean things up, and have no problems here with the win. FF goes down, but there were picks, so it is a 3 versus 2 here. Unless HyperX and company can get someone back on their feet. It doesn't look like they can.
There's no respawn beacons or anything they can do to help them get this. And Rundown knows. They know that this is a 2v3, and they said, I am out for blood. I'm going to take this match with my life intact. And they are able to take this high ground. They're trying to go for it. Going KBM using the Rift. Try and get high ground. Rundown will get another one taken down, though. Goons trying to get damage. HyperX Zapix will get taken down, but he's... They won KBM trying so hard. Getting sex, he goes for the finish. He gets the finish off. Trying his best with the Hemlock. Getting that extra damage. The micro turns will come out. More high ground will... They're going for him, and they will be able to take it, and that's Rundown as the winners of game number 2.
Really nice play there from Rundown. They almost lost it, I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit worried. They had the advantage going into that fight, and they didn't clean it up in nearly the amount of time I had hoped. Danger went down very quickly at the beginning of that fight with really no traded damage at all. So it was a scary situation for Water Otters and Ultrasonic Beast, but they did manage to clean it up. They got the job done. Props to them. That is a good win with some KP for them as well. We take a look maybe at the scoreboard in a bit. That will definitely show up. That'll be nice to bring them up. They ended up with 8 kills, so not too bad. Goons, the team that they killed right at the end, also had 12 kills, and FF had 14. So we know what was happening to lobby. It was FF trying to play this like a pub and just running things down. They did make it right to the center of end zone, though, so props to them. They did get eventually punished for their I guess, overly aggressive ways, though.
And right before we go to a break, ATF, the team that did really good last game, with 15 kills, right? Like, they did so good. They came 10th with 0. That is not looking good for them at all.
I think they got into a bit of trouble on their drop, I'm going to be honest, because when we tuned in with them, they had one person down. They were hiding on the edge of, I think it's called Monument now. And one of them had white armor and one of them had gold armor. So I'm thinking that whatever happened with their drop, it was a little bit broken. They couldn't full loot their POI, and things just didn't play out properly for them that time. They did manage, though. It looks like their Pathfinder managed to rat all the way up to 10th, so they did get those 2 points for that. Not too shabby. But yeah, that's game 2. Another one with not so populated an end game. Maybe we'll see that change. Maybe we won't. We'll always... I will always be looking for a very populated end game. I'll be happy when I see one. But with that, we're going to kick it to a quick break, and we will be back soon with Game 3. And welcome back to Console Gaming League's Scrim Nights. I am Chunk, joined again by Cherry. We're back with Game 3 here, and we are just kicking things off. The drops are coming in. As we can see on the map, it seems, again, like a pretty contest-free kind of game, Cherry. Not a lot happening here right off drop, though I'll be interested to see what happens with Fragment.
Yeah, we only have 2 teams landing Fragment, and they are very well dividing it. One's going Fragment East, one's going Fragment West. Looks like we're going to start out with a rundown as our team of choice. They are on the left side of the map. They're not close to zone, but they'll probably have enough time to get back in it with time to spare.
They looked great rotating in last game. They landed here last game as well, and they were able to get the win all the way over towards Fragment. So I definitely think they're a fast looting team. It looks really good as we see Big Mod and Stacks just maybe a little interested in poking at each other. TRS actually lost one there. That is not a good spot to be in if you're Dino, because now Xylux has to go in here for a sneaky stealth res.
Yes, and now everyone nearby will know exactly where they are and that they are not prepared to be in a fight.
Yeah, if I'm this team hanging around Mod, I am pressing the W key as soon as I see that dropship.
Yeah, we've seen pro style aiming. He has some pro style aiming right there. So he's probably gonna see this. He's gonna say, "I want those kills. I need these points." And he's gonna go for it. Hopefully, I mean that's what I'd do here.
Yeah, RRE maybe not getting as aggressive right off the rip, but they are going to move in, maybe take the balloon. Cole Minky is going to be the first one in. He's taking quite a bit of spray damage there, though.
So he's trying to get a nice Q off. He does use it. He doesn't scan anyone by the looks of it. And TRS Xylux is going to be in the air, trying to get away from this whole engagement.
Oh, what a snipe with that focus of attention, that Seer Q. Excellent work there from Dino. He makes up for dying early, maybe. That's going to get him a first pick here against RRE. Pro Style also going to go down.
He's holding this angle.
And that is just a tough situation to be in. I'm not going to lie. I think the Seer scan is more broken than when Seer first came out. Going to get a little bit of BM there. Dino, who did die first, is going to maybe shoot some of these boxes just a little bit.
We do hear some shots nearby after that, so they're going to know that they have to be a little bit careful after the Bangalore's speed is kicked in. I'm entirely sure where that would have come from, but it looks like we're going to be switching to a view. We have Andrews, that's Team Xiphon,
Team Tsunami, indeed, yes.
And a couple other teams nearby. We have a couple people surrounding them. It looks like they're trying to just make their base up here, not really care what anyone else says.
This is a great spot. A lot of comp players would call this Cubby, among other things. This is a pretty good spot to be. You got all of these fences, all of these blue boxes. They're still on this composition where Rampart and Catalyst kind of fulfill the same exact role. If they want to play double defense, even a Watson would be a lot more useful. You see a lot of the APAC North teams playing a ton of Watson. But in the meantime, speaking of APAC North, here comes a crypto team flying in. Jonathan, nice EMP.
It looks like he's trying to get some damage off. This will be the first fight. He notices that there's a blue shield, so he's probably gonna have a little bit of confidence after seeing that. That's a whole ultimate, and that's a bunch of grenades being used. That's a lot of utility just to expend on nothing, basically. They didn't value that, but they will be able to take out their first kill, get the scan off on the next. It looks like they will be able to take out the Horizon. There's one person left on this team, and they will want to go hunting for this.
Yeah, the strategy of jumping one at a time into the middle of TRS really not working out there. Coding crazy, maybe a little too crazy at that point. And they are going to get a nice knock, but Coding Crazy will go down as their name suggests, playing just a little bit too crazy.
So you have ATF just holding these angles, not trying to be too aggressive. This is a very strong team from what we've seen, though. So if they wanted to, I still have hope that they could make any fight that they want work in their favor.
Yeah, ATF, they made it out of Monument this time, made it out of Frag. So that is an improvement from last game, where I believe their game all but ended. So they are still on the double whites, or the double napkins, as some people say. They have really no armor to their name. It's going to be really tough to take any fight, close range or long range, with armor that bad. But one hitter, not letting them access this crafter, which is what they would need to really get that armor up.
Resi just waiting for a push here, but they will not get it. The team will be rotating out, trying to take this high ground here on the bridge, which is very close to where Team Tsunami is posted up. They might even try and go for an engage here. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it from a team this aggressive. They have a Bangalore to get that angle that they're playing off.
Yeah, you do not want to give Tsunami even an inch of space to shoot at you here. They've got all these rampart walls. They've got Nemesis. I'm guessing one of them has a 30-30. It is just not good practice to give the Andrews room to shoot at you here. Still, train track's a great spot to play. It will definitely be a part of that end zone circle, as I believe this one does pull just a little bit south of Harvester, north of train tracks.
We'll be seeing the next team of UNCW here, just trying to hold this little car, this building here, and they will be getting that. We switched to a map cam where we are able to see where all the teams are, and we have everyone a little bit spread out, but there's a fight by the lava springs of RSG trying to get a bit of an engagement, but Slob on my Rob and Dirty Skirty look like they're going to try and push that for a third party.
Yeah, and looking at that map, I definitely think that this could end up pulling to tree as well. There is probably a better chance than my original call. There's a reason I don't play this game anymore. But if you take a look here, there is a lot of real estate open still. And you've got a lot of teams just choosing to die on edge instead of taking those winning positions in the middle of zone. Prime Champions, one of those teams who's going to die on edge. And it seems like TRS might be the next team to die on edge.
BIG has lost their first player, but they're going to be able to get the revive off as soon as possible, but they don't actually close the door, and the micro drones will detect them. It looks like they're going to try and do something, but the Horizon will get the res off before anything could happen.
That is one of the most ridiculous revive angles I've ever seen. Now a util dump, massive coming inside here from HTGG, or HDKGG. They are not looking good trying to push into this caustic here. I don't think I would be looking good trying to push into this caustic here either. Sometimes it's just best to let them be. Ooh!
Doesn't look like they can let them be because other teams are starting to see that they can get in on this and they will take out the Umbra real quick, as fast as possible. And she'll get finished. Recover the banner if they can. And they're going to try and loot her up, try and get those shields. But lots of teams just in this little area.
Derpy and N9 coming in now. They're hanging out over here. They're about to cause a lot more trouble. 99 as a team. Definitely happy to take this height. They've got a Rampart shield to their name. That is not their Rampart shield. And now they're going to look to take a little bit more real estate. But I will be honest, they may run into the exact same problem that the previous team here just faced. Which is, pushing into a caustic team.
Yeah, pushing into a caustic, never the play you want to go with. But in that scenario, they had to go with it. They said, "We need these points. We're not gonna win. We want to win," and it didn't work out for them.
This is a nice building to play if you're N9 because you can just back off from that caustic team, give them an arm's length, maybe punish them when they have to leave that building later. If this is indeed the zone that pulls up into this no man's land up this hill, they may even try to go take this choke.
Derpy will be taking some shots, though, from BIG.
I like this angle for N9. I don't really like this push from BIG, but it might work out for him if they can take this building and really get that caustic real estate set up.
It doesn't look like they want to take this building. It looks like they're trying to play height. And, I mean, I don't think that's the play. I think you have to go inside. But it looks like they're all saying, we don't want this. We're going to try and get this push. We're going to try to win. And
Speaking
we're getting
of pushes,
another fight.
Hopladamus and the rest of Night Raid just going in and getting absolutely stomped on. It's going to be Urk going down first here. Wizard, last one standing though. It is a duo, so Night Raid may actually be in luck here, even though they don't really win that engagement because it's a duo. I think it will be enough to wipe the side of AAC here.
And Weiser's going to be the last one, and he will get that knock. Instead of going for the finish, he's going to try and heal. And he will only get one shield off before getting destroyed.
Yeah, Weiser did a very good job there. The main reason things didn't go so well is because Hopladamus spent some time rezzing Urk, playing it safe, and Gem just lost the 1v1. It happens. Weiser, a good showing, but down goes AAC. A lot of teams, again, like I said, just really apt to dying on edge here. As we see the zone pulling away from tree entirely, back over towards, looks like back over just towards this sort of swamp, no man's land kind of area.
Looks like we are getting UNCW playing in this building with the catalyst to really lock this down for them. But I don't know if this is enough, because if the zone doesn't pull towards them, they're going to be in a heap of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be interested to see if they have any of the movement ability that they need to move.
It's been a while since we've had our screens on FF. It will look like they're in a bit of a predicament from a couple of angles, but one hitter looks like they want this damage. They want this kills.
FF just in a spot of trouble inside, trying to deal with a Caustic team pushing them. I think Caustic already used the ult, though, and didn't get it nearly as far in the door, and here comes FF outside. Real McCoy takes down Dreamerson, but not before Dreamerson takes care of Reggie. Fate's on the roof now, just trying to land some shots. Logan's going to head down and try to clean things up. Andrew is going to take out Fate, so that is also Tsunami getting in on the action. We've got a 1v1 here. Logan stuck in the gas. He is going to go down, and FF gets cornered by one hitter. Real McCoy, the last one standing here. He's going to have to look to res these teammates.
It looks like he'll have the time. There's no one really nearby him. Everyone is at least like 50, 60 meters away. The only problem that they're facing is being able to keep it that way. By the looks of it, they will not go for the res on Glue 3. Because Real McCoy, he has a Phoenix kit. If he gets this off, he's very much big for the rest of the game. But that's implying he can. Goons are going to take the building that they just had to leave.
Judging by how this lobby has played so far, I think it is only a matter of time before somebody decides, you know what, Goons has had that building long enough. I think it's our turn to take it.
It looks like and the Andrews are still on that same position they've been on all game. They never leave their position. They always stay there. I don't know what they know, but they really just never have to leave.
They've got a very good zone IGL, that means. And here's N9 just walking through here, taking care of Ultrasonic Beast inside of this truck. It's very nice, if you ask me. A really good spot to play from, to walk into this next zone and play the low ground.
And Water Otters is still going to be the only one left on Rundown. I guess that was a recent thing.
Something tells me we are not going to have a repeat champion here with Rundown.
No. Looks like Goons, they left the building that they had all their needs filled in. With it being outside the zone, that makes sense. They have a decent amount of utility left, a decent amount of shields from Hyper Zapix. And they're just trying to stay under bridge, keep as much space as they can to themselves. Spen is going to get shot at by Glue 3, and he's able to get under the bridge with the rest of his team.
Definitely a good spot to play under the bridge as well. You've got that team on top of the bridge. They could give you a little bit of trouble, but remember in Apex, you do get stunned when you land on the ground unless you're Horizon. So the team on the low ground generally has the advantage in any fight where the team on the high ground has to drop.
It looks like it would be wise of them not to drop, because when you have this high ground, you don't want to give it away. And even if it is just for a fight, like, the problem is that Tsunami, they have all three of their players alive. They have really good weapons for long range fight, and they have a good angle to kill anyone on this bridge. There's the first shot coming out from Andrew too. 109 till the purple Evo shield, and that's what they're playing for by the looks of it. Getting more and more. They never settle for less here. They always want, I want that end game, and I'm going to get that end game. This will be 3 games in a row where they will have it.
Absolutely. I definitely think that Tsunami is easily in the best spot here. They have almost full control of that height and track side, which is really good for them. Meanwhile, we've got Night Raid also in a high ground-ish spot over here, but they are going to get pushed out by zone. Probably not this zone, but the next one.
Last one, Water Otters. He might even get his next Evo shield up, but he will only have 1 shield cell to repair that to full if he even does. Big will get into their first engagement in a little bit now. Lots of caustic gas and other major utilities spreading around. And it looks like their Seer is going to be taken out by the looks of it. But no, a shield battery will come out. They go in for the engagement and they will take out 2 kills. N9, 2 of them. They want more. They're looking to get more by the looks of it. And that's, looks like even more people.
Yeah, N9 just got absolutely cooked in that room there, but meanwhile, UNCW not really liking sharing this building as much anymore, but it is a 2v2. Cone Snail goes so low and does get taken down, but a nice beam from Slasher is going to give him a little bit more time to reset here. Climbs up on the roof, just trying to lay low, trying not to draw too much attention. And now as things get popping inside... Oh, great focus of attention there. Gets all 3 in that stun.
Looks like Night Raid. They're going to have to move towards the zone eventually here. Taking a little bit of damage from BIG's last remaining player, who's going to be using another knockdown shield to revive his shield completely. He's going to be able to go for the res at least. And they're going to see it. They're going to hear that res coming out, and he will not let that happen. And the other... and that's the last of Team Big.
They do go down there. There's definitely a few more teams in end zone than we've seen so far. Things are getting a little bit crowded here, but Tsunami, mobile cover. They just keep building their way across the train tracks like they're playing Fortnite.
The Andrews had to move from their position, finally, at long last.
Yeah, and they are also finally, at long last, going to take down Water Otters, so that is it for Team Rundown. 6th place, though, not too shabby, following up a win. Meanwhile, one hitter trying to get into things with, I believe this is Night Raid.
And that black hole is going to come out big, trapping the real McCoy. Never mind, that was not even nearly enough to get him out.
They're just hanging out, having a good time. 99's got one man standing. I didn't see him get out of that fight with the Caustic team with Big, so props to N9.
Oh yeah, 2 of them got killed by the Arc Star, but he didn't get finished, but that's going to be Tsunami, the last of the Andrews, and one hitter going to take a lot of action here, trying to take out the last man on N9.
One hitter's got to get ready. They've got a tough 3v3 here against Night Raid, who has looked really good this game.
And one hitter, Blue 9, just got its shield back, and now it's already gone. Night Raid getting a lot of damage in.
Hopladama's going to open it up with that knock onto Glue. Gem going to come in with one on Real McCoy, and this is going to be it. Very clean game from Night Raid.
That was a really big game.
They were able to clear their backs again, like we talked about, right? They were able to just wipe every team that was on that lava siphon side and just absolutely destroy anybody who was on that low ground beneath them. So they were able to just kind of work their way across the train tracks. They never even had to tangle with people on the train tracks until they were ready to push Tsunami at the end, which they did. They took them apart pretty easily because I think they had a pretty big armor advantage at that point too. So really well played by Night Raid. Really good work there. IGL leading them around, killing all the teams they needed to, and then finding that nice spot on the train tracks for Final Zone to take that last fight from.
Yeah, they played that amazingly. They had 20 kills at the end of that. That's a third of the lobby right there. And the site, yeah, they didn't even need a single defensive agent to do that. They all their heroes, champions, whatever you want to call them, they all were playing very aggressively. They all did really well. And I don't know, I expect them to really get the next game too, because really, it's come to a point where they really just dominated the lobby. One hitter did good, but they didn't do nearly as much like damage and impact to the rest of the lobby as Night Raid did that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing with Night Raid, we talked about it earlier, that Bangalore with the digital threats. That's just something you cannot undervalue. It is so important to be able to come in with that digital threat. That also helps, having the smoke for when you use your exhibit, the Seer ultimate. That is a huge bonus as well. So using all of that, fighting their way down that whole side through the center of the map was really good. And I think a lot of those 20 kills come from just the fact that teams didn't seem too invested in rotating to zone. It was almost like they heard a fight and they said, that's the new center of zone. That's where we're going to go. We're not going anywhere but to that gunfire. Instead of trying to guess where, the zone is going to end, what's the best position for us in endgame. And Night Raid was able to use superior team fighting to take advantage of that.
Yeah. And we will be back with game number 4 after this break.
And welcome back to Console Gaming League. We are still here with Scrib Knights. We've got 3 more games, except this time we are going to be heading in to Storm Point for map 4. We've seen some pretty big kill games so far. Teams really running it down, killing a lot of people, or should we say a lot of teams dying to certain teams. A lot of action, maybe in the center of the map, third parties, all that kind of stuff. So I think we are likely to see even more of said action on Storm Point. It's a big open map. People love to be fast to third parties.
Now, what I'm excited for here is I cannot wait to see where exactly Team Andrews is going to come out camping. Let's see. It's a huge map. They're going to figure out every single time where the zone's going to be. They're going to be in the most ridiculous places. This is big map. Let's see who's going to drop 30 kills this time. I mean, it's going to be hard, but honestly, I don't doubt it. Because some of these teams, they're just running down. They're killing like 20 people. That's all they need to do.
I could very much see it happening. The thing about Tsunami and about a couple of our other teams is they were excellent with their circles on World's Edge. And like you said, I'll be interested to see if they can have the same level of success. Remember, the circles, they're not random in Apex. They are specified per season. There's a specific number of circles that happen that exist in the game. So you might know the World's Edge circles really well, but then you might not know the circles on Storm Point nearly as well. So we'll see how things play out, and we will be keeping our eyes on this map for any contests. It looks like there might be one at the wall. RSG maybe getting into a little early action with their friends over there. Cool M&K and company.
I will say, though, it doesn't look like we are going to see the Andrews know this too well, because they went in the top left. So wherever they go, that's going to be hard for a rotate if they don't get zone.
ATF with a big con here as well.
Oh,
Senior Soul
kill.
is going to find that first knock. That's huge.
Looks like we're getting another player just jumping in this building.
It's going to be Rob finding a knock as well. He's down to just 1 for this other team here, and there goes Prime Champions. That is tough if you are Prime Champions. They have not had a great scrim block so far, and it does not seem to be going their way on Storm Point either.
ATF already getting their first 3 kills. That's very big for them. And the Goons are going to also... That's 2 people already dead for them. And it looks like they also... But that's the full team! They just took them all out, and that's them winning their first team fight as well. They're two teams already taken out at the very start of this match. We're only like a minute in, and both of these teams have already gotten 3 kills for both of them. That's going to be big for their Evo shields and big for their stats for this matchup.
And big for their egos. You know, you see contests like this happening all the time in scrims, and I can't say enough that, you know, sometimes it pays to just let yourself play out of a different POI. Like, come on, go Beast instead. If there's nobody at down Beast, just go play off of Beast or go play the IMC Armory. You know, it stinks to have to sit here and watch the rest of the game from the sidelines because you lost your contest. Speaking of contests, though, this wall contest, it doesn't look like it ever really turned into a true fight.
They had more peace than those 2 people that didn't even look like they were having contests. They're all being peaceful.
True. It's very true.
UNCW is going to be able to take this armory, which will be big for them because they haven't had any really big games yet so far. I mean, Slashers made it into a couple end games, but besides that, they have not really had any actually good games yet. So maybe this armory is going to make that difference for them.
Yeah, Slasher going to be able to get his armor leveled up, get some nice loot. It's pretty solid as we see one hitter now all the way back over at checkpoint. Going to be working their way up, maybe thinking about fighting TRS here. But TRS, they maybe have different ideas. They want to get the top of checkpoint before anything else. Their rotation, they moved here all the way from the wall already. And It is quite the rotation to come into checkpoint from wall. I'm not so sure about that. They look to be in a bit of a situation with one hitter, who I'm assuming is the checkpoint team.
It's one hitter. They're already taking a little bit of damage. Glue 3 switching off of the Caustic onto the Bangalore. Interesting swap of a complete roll. But we'll see if they're going to be able to use this high ground to their advantage against RSG and TRS down there.
Yeah, TRS calling it a day on that fight, which is probably the right thing to do. Somebody takes the high ground of checkpoint, and you hightail it down to this tunnel. That is the usual strategy someone might take, trying to deal with a team all the way up on that high ground. Some nice weapons in hand, though, for TRS. They are definitely down to clown. They should be in a fight pretty soon. Speaking of fights, though, and IMC armories, we've got the Northeast IMC in a bit of trouble here.
Looks like RRE is taking a lot of damage.
Ooh.
2 already dead. Diamond Panda, only 1 left. Has to fight all of Andrews. Andrew 2 getting decent damage in, but he loses his entire shield along with Andrew 1. Neither of them have any of that left on them, but they're able to get the finishes. Very big for them, and Andrew 3 getting a big crackdown. Looks like he's going to have to switch to his secondary and get the final kill with the 30-30.
Never a fun feeling whiffing on your whole mag of your SMG like that. You got to pull out that marksman rifle, and things get a little bit dicey, but good cleanup there by Tsunami. They take care of the team that looks like they were trying to do the IMC. Never got it started, so now Tsunami has a choice. Are they going to rotate to zone? Are they happy with their loot? Or do they want to hit the IMC themselves?
And it looks like they've switched off of their ideology of playing it ridiculously safe and switched to Bangalore instead of the Rampart.
Bangalore is so great on this map because there's all of this wide open space that she can really cover with those smokes. But talking about wide open space, it's Dibs caught in no man's land. Dirty Skirty landed some shots there with the triple take, and TRS goes down. We just seen them escape from a team at checkpoint, and they ended up running headfirst into ATF, which I do not envy them.
Never a good feeling. Run into a team as soon as you get finished one fight, and didn't go well from this time.
Especially a team like ATF, we've seen them get so many kills. Ooh, God spot for 99. That's pretty solid for them. They're up on this huge rock, which there's really no way to reach without walking right up to the rock or flying in. So it turns out to be probably one of the best spots in the game when the circle does pull here.
And there's not a lot of teams near them. We see we see 2 teams that are actually close by. So if it does pull here, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to have to come through these canyons and valleys to try and fight this, and they will have the high ground advantage to upgrade their Evo shields if this will happen.
Absolutely. They'll have plenty of opportunities for kills. That's the nice thing about sitting center of zone is everybody wants what you have, and you can just kill them on the way.
Does seem like they see a couple enemies. They start pinging. M&K trying to show everyone where their enemies are, and they're able to look at some damage. They don't actually see any numbers coming up, but they don't also take any. No damage replaced. They lose a little bit of ammo, which they do need. They will not be able to get any. They don't have the Loba, but looks like we're going to be switching to KBM and Zakbix.
Yeah, and this is ultimately going to be a barometer side pull. Probably pulls more to that eastern edge of barometer. That is not what those people on Godspot were thinking, but here's Night Raid. They find themselves again on the nice edge of zone, the slow side of zone, trying to clear things out, trying to get as many kills as possible, and make it so that they don't have to watch their backs once they walk in. Looks like Doinkin' Donuts and company are their, well, not their first victims of this game, but among their first victims this game.
The Bangalore ult will be coming out to try and back this Night Raid away from them, but nowhere that Gem can go can really avoid it. They go into the zone trying to chase. interesting play. It looks like they really, really want this, and it looks like they'll get it. Dunkin' Donuts will get taken down.
It's a tough spot to be in. Here comes the evac tower, which I'm assuming they're going to use to chase down Illusion here as the last man standing.
And Hopladamus, he doesn't even care. He's going to push him anyway.
Oh,
But
Illusion's got to make it to that car.
He's getting the car.
He's
They
going to get
realize now
away.
that they cannot fight this, and they have to get back to zone. Maybe they'll take the jump tower right there.
Yeah, they've got a bit of time. They've got still another full zone of this this low ticking zone, the low damage zone. So they can take a minute. They can loot Gale Station, loot the boxes they killed, and then work their way back in. Oh, that is not fun.
We'll be getting another engagement here. We have I Need a Femboy Duo trying to 2v3 this next team here. They will be using the Bangalore smokes to their advantage with Digithread and able to take out a decent amount of enemies. With that, they find the last one, crack his shield, and take him down completely.
Another tough one for TF141 and UNCW. It's nice to see them winning a fight here. We've seen them in some really good spots in zone, but we haven't always seen them come out on top in those 3v3s. So it's nice to see them get a clean one here. But Hopladamus and Gem may be interested in continuing to clear out this side of zone, though seems like UNCW might be interested in clearing out the side of Night Raid.
UNCW will be trying to get this next push on with taking the height on top of these buildings. Except your FPS, he will look to be trying to heal at the moment using the medkit. But the EMP looks to be coming out. They see all three of their enemies now. They're pushing in the building here. They're using the enemy team's smokes to their advantage with the Digithreat on the alternator, getting a little bit of damage out. The wall will come out from the catalyst.
Slasher, the first one to go down. Gem finds two, as a matter of fact. Doesn't even get their shield broken. Percy and Slasher both falling, and now it's just Cone Snail, who is not long for this world. UNCW, right after we talk about them winning a fight, they do end up falling in another 3v3.
Goon's gonna look to be taking an engagement, and they have the kill leader on their team too. Hyper Zapix trying to get a little bit of damage in with the flatline.
Yeah, this is the team we saw win that contest at Mill. They're looking to really just punish Swanzini and that team, forcing them to kind of be stuck in that middle of the underside of bridge, which is never where you want to be. One hitter actually lost Resi, though, so this may turn into a very big snowball here.
And Goons is going to be able to get both teams. It won't even matter.
Absolutely. It will
They
not.
tried pinching, and it...
Huge
That's
plays
both
there.
teams.
Goons takes out Apex Goons and takes out one hitter. So really big cleanup there for the side of Goons. They've got a few kills to their name now, and they have this whole side of zone to work their way in with.
Looks like they plan on staying under the bridge to loot up. Not really caring too much of people around because they know nobody's around here. We just fought two teams. Nobody would be crazy enough not to try and third party after that huge engagement. So they're going to take all this wood that they need, and it looks like they're going to try to get into this building with Hyper Zapix, which is not in zone, but they're going to try and rotate through here by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think that they do know that there's probably at least one more team on this side, but there's only 11 teams left for Zone 2. That's no teams. There's tons of space in this zone. So both teams should be able to rotate in pretty easily. There's this whole main building. There's the water line. There's the caves. There's the rocks. There's I think 2 different beaches. There's a lot of space to play here.
And Gem took a little bit of damage there. It was not entirely where they are because he's not really tried looking for him. He didn't find anything. But he's pulling the gun out. He knows that there's someone around him. We'll see when or where he finds people. And that Andrews, looks like they only have 2 of them left. Andrew 3 somehow died by the looks of it, which is interesting because he was doing ridiculously well. And Andrew 1 will get knocked. Andrew 2 won't even have the time to res him by the looks of it. Oh, Andrew 3 is alive. He was just not with his team.
No longer alive. This is what happens when you don't make a aggressive rotation towards zone. You got to learn when to cut your losses. They had that good spot that we were talking about, but then never really made it out of that area. Now Andrew 2 going to be stuck playing as the rat here for Tsunami.
And ATF getting a lot of damage with the Hemlock. Getting his shields to red. And then trying to get a snare out onto his teammate. Probably going to try and throw his thermite grenade in there, but he wants to save that by the looks of it.
What you have to be careful of if you're ATF here is other teams looking to take that height from you. There's so much area to cover up there that all 3 people really do need to be looking at something different so that you're not getting snuck up on from any of those sides.
Yeah. Our boys at Solomon Robin, Dirty Skirty are on the high ground, which is going to be really powerful for them. Never having to leave that because this zone... Oh, actually, the zone will be pulling out of the city. So a lot of teams that were placed in there are going to have a hard time. Big, though, they are in a decent spot, in the zone at least. Looking to fight another team even farther in, which will be very difficult for them to do. Seeing they're all the way across the water. But now they're leaving, so they might get some free shots in. Doesn't look like it, though. 99. Really trying to set up here, not waste any time doing so.
It looks like ATF is in fact going down. Someone with a prowler there in our kill feed. That is tough to see. I wonder if they ended
that's
up
2 of them right there.
The height. This spot for Big is such a good spot to play with the Newcastle. You've got all of that extra cover. And it looks like ATF actually tried to push. And, well, it didn't really work out for them.
They're left with 1 player left. Just like our other team with the Team Tsunami. I don't think their last man has died yet. But it looks like a lot of teams are just going to have 1 player left by the end of this. There's 8 squads left, 19 players. That's 5 people that would not be a part of a team by the math.
Yep, 5 missing is quite a bit, actually. I say it often. A zone this size can hold a lot more people. Everyone should be able to find a spot if they want one. And I will be honest, it looks like Night Raid is in prime position here. Kill some teams on the edge, and then walk right up on where that duo Newcastle team is holding. So they should be in great shape here, which, you know, we've kind of come to expect from Night Raid after last game.
They are just moving up on this land, trying to get into the zone. They spot someone with a ping, and they're shooting at him. Gem taking a decent amount of damage there. The wall will go up for cover from their right side so that they can solely isolate this fight. Lots of danger coming in from Rundown, and Dangers at 1 HP cannot get hit by the zone, but Bangalore Smokes will come out to protect them. They're going to hide around this rock. Hopefully they have heals so that they don't die, but they aren't even in zone. They have the worst luck possible. They're going to have to go all the way across if they want a chance here.
They did keep their Bangalore and their Horizon on their feet, though, so if they can live past this engagement, they might actually have a decent chance of getting where they need to go. Those smokes, that gravity lift, both things can be awesome for this kind of rotation.
Yeah, they're trying to get some damage off by the looks of it, but I don't think that even that's going to be much for them, because they have to kill this team if they want in. Because it's either that or you go hard left. Either way, you have to do something here. And this is the only way that they can really do this and get the gravity cannon.
Yep. And we know who's hanging out on that hard left. It would be Night Raid, so I wouldn't want to have to deal with them.
It looks like
Nice
Danger's
shots
going.
from Danger.
Looks like everyone's getting taken out, and AAC was eliminated. Goons.
Rundown goes down as well. Danger, the last man standing there. It is now down to 3 teams. We've got a team on the height, a team on the far side, and Goons, who find themselves stuck out here in the water. They don't have the benefit of having Bangalore smokes. They hopefully have a catalyst wall. I didn't quite get to see if they had it or not, but that is probably going to be the only way they find their way into this zone here alive.
N9 does have the best position in this fight by the looks of it. Multiple catalyst walls going up. Everyone just trying their best to get into this zone. But N9 just are at the height. Nothing's going to stop this. They don't have to move ever. But these two teams, they will.
N9 does have the armor disadvantage, though. They've got to be careful here. Night Raid is still very dangerous from that low ground. And there's the shots coming in. A couple 30-30s together make for trouble. Up the gravity lift. A nice stick with that Arc Star there for Urk. And he's going to come in with that Prowler. A lot of things going down both sides here. Gem is going to take care of Derpy. Derpy is going to get Urk back with that Thermite, though. And it is a 2 versus 1 now. If Night Raid wants to clean this up, they have to do it fast because Goons is just hanging out waiting on that low ground.
It looks like Night Raids will get their third player back up and alive. N9 controller is gonna get fought, but they don't know he's there, and he's able to no scope with the. Oh, but it won't matter. They'll realize where he is and get that damage off. They're going for the res, and it looks like they might not be able to get it with Holodumpus on the ground. Gem also bleeding out. One more against 3 people. There's no way. And Goons is the champion.
Very nice play there from Goons. We saw it in our game 1, and we see it again now. The team that's patient, the team that waits, the team that doesn't get over aggressive is going to be the team that wins those end zone situations where you've got 3 versus 3 versus 3. It's very important. Again, just, don't overcommit there. And I think Night Raid definitely overcommitted onto that high ground. They couldn't get out without one of them getting knocked, and that's really what ultimately did them in.
Yeah, that was. I'm very surprised. 99 didn't win that. They had such a good team. They had the high ground. They had zone. They had everything that they could have needed, and somehow they didn't even come second. But Night Raids and Goons, oh my god, they were on a different level. 14 and 12 kills for both of them. Insane.
And 99, ultimately what did them in is I believe it was their Horizon that just overpeaked just a little bit. And Night Raid was easily able to punish that. And then that's what started the push. And then it just didn't go the way of Night Raid. It was a little bit too much. Maybe you wait for EMP in that situation. Maybe you try to use maybe a little bit more in terms of grenades and utility to stop a res, but you might not want to full commit all the way up that hill, knowing that you've got Goons just hanging out in the back pocket right there, just waiting to push that. But that is going to be it for Game 4. We're going to throw it to a quick break, and we'll be back with Games 5 and 6 to wrap things up. And welcome back to Scrim Night with Console Gaming League. I'm Chunk. Still got Cherry here with me. We have seen some pretty good Apex so far. A lot of teams, a lot of team fights, a lot of team fight wins by certain teams, not a lot by other teams. But I'm excited to see how things play out here in Game 5.
Yes, we are still on Storm Point. We have lots of good Apex to be played, and we're going to hope for a very good game here. Maybe not a iffy zone where there's not a lot of cover or stuff to play around, but we'll see where we go.
There are some crazy zones on this map, and it's funny. This map is so much better than it was in terms of zones. When this map first came out, I remember there were zones where half of the zone was like an unclimbable cliff, or half of the zone, or the entire zone was just out in the middle of the water somewhere. Just insane stuff. So as it stands, that zone, while pretty bad, was not the worst Storm Point zone I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't bad, but I don't know. And it looks like our team of the Raiders is gone. Night Raid looks to be leaving, but I'm not entirely sure if that was just an issue on my part.
Now, Night Raid looks like they're out RRE as well, so we're going to start with 18 instead of 20. It happens. Some people are not built for this, you know? Some people can't handle the whole scrim block.
6 games in a row is very difficult to play through for some people, and I do definitely understand that.
Absolutely. Still, the way that Night Raid did lose that last game, pretty frustrating too, so it can be tough. As we look at our contests, again, we're going to have a big old fight at Cascade Falls. Looks like it's going to be ATF versus the Prime Champions yet again. Gonna have to see how that goes and how this plays out. We'll start with Prime Champions. Bliss got himself a blue armor. It's good to see that, but
and a wingman. It's definitely gonna be strong for like no attachments, no nothing.
2 prowlers on their side as well, so if I'm Prime Champions, I'm feeling good. Meanwhile, we got another fight. This one going on at Mill. It is Goons. Looks like they are again starting things off quite nice. This time, though, they did lose day 1. And Spen pretty low. He's about to get punched out, and he does. Oh, man, you look lonely. Took care of him.
CPT has to get this last whole thing here. And it looks like they're going to see the last player running. But
meanwhile, we're going back, it looks like, to our fight at Cascade. And that is going to be a nice clean wipe there for ATF. Maybe not the best weapons, but they did get a blue armor out of the deal. And they cleaned things up pretty nicely. Goons also falls. So that is a good look as well. And here's Rundown. We didn't see them have a very good first game of Storm Point after putting together a pretty good World's Edge, but that definitely might change.
Let's see if 99 can have a better match than last time, where they kind of stumbled the bag at the very end. And we'll see how they are able to convert this. Maybe try and get better, I don't know, decisions on how they're going to play this in the end game, late game, all that. Because they played a really good early game. And they're going to take this first Storm Beacon by the looks of it, see where it is, and see what they do with it.
Yeah, having that early zone knowledge is great, especially when you're playing that Rampart. She could be good on the edge of zone, right? With all that deployable cover, you can play spots maybe you aren't supposed to be playing, per se. But ultimately, the best way you can use Rampart is to get to the center of the zone, grab a building, grab a corner, and just set up. Savages, though, they've got that Catalyst, which pretty similar in nature, where you kind of do just want to get to the center of the zone and set up. They are taking their time here, though, looting Launchpad. And this is maybe a slower looting POI sometimes. They've also maybe got more of an inclination to play Edge there with the Bangalore on their team.
Yeah, looks like TRS, all of them, they're going to be able to get all this. I am excited to see how our favorite team, Team Tsunami. They're gonna play. They're gonna play this. I really hope that they're able to do better than last time. Not gonna lie, this will be TRS. They have not had great luck in the past. Xylux has had decent fights, and they've had different. But they're doing good this game, so we're gonna need them to really come back here if they want to have good placements at the end of this.
TF 141 here does look like they might be getting into it a little bit with, I would assume that's ATF trying to rotate away from where they landed.
But he dropping some shots in, trying to get Slob on my Rob. We'll see how he decides to react to this.
Extended heavy mag here. Level 3.
ATF just going to hang out, grab some extra loot, shoot some spiders, get some crafting materials for it. Not a bad strategy. And that leaves, and that leaves our other friends in charge of Cascade Falls, which is a really central POI. It's got that crafter, which it looks like Hawk's using to craft his armor. But the scary thing about it is so many teams are going to want to rotate through. Here we've got Tsunami. They're hopefully starting this a little bit earlier than they did last time, because I think doing an armory was the reason they ended up stuck in zone.
Yep, and they will be able to take all that they need. And it looks like we're getting another fight here from ATF, taking out one already, getting the finish, and they see more. They're gonna try to get sticks with the Arcstar. And they force them out of the Bangalore smokes. They know what building they're specifically in, and they're gonna push out and try to take this kill. It's gonna be 3 people, and Hawk is in the different building, so it's gonna be 3 people all on this one dude, and they get the kill on Leahy. He's knocked down. They finish him, and now it's a 3v1.
And Hawk not really doing much to get out of dodge. He's still hanging around. He is definitely going to get punished for that.
Yep, and they see where he is, and Slob on my Rob is able to take him out, becoming the kill leader with 3 kills, 500 damage.
Not sure Hawk knew the kind of situation he was in there. He was standing shooting at that window like he was the only guy in the game.
And now we have FF with a fight coming in with a Bangalore forcing them to go under the building after just getting a knockdown. They're going to try to get more damage in. Seeing more people. They are getting stunned by the CRQ, and they're getting, oh my god, and Forever Dreamson taking so much damage. Almost dying, but he's able to get the kills with his team. Shield swap, and they're going to be back in this with no problems.
Yeah, they look pretty good in that fight there. They definitely took a lot of damage, but now here comes ATF. They're going to test the waters as well. This game is devolving pretty quickly into a bit of an ape fest here. ATF, they look like they want to take a big angle on this. They like that damage they got onto Logan and Fates there. Still, though, seems like Soul and Rob are going to be swinging to the right. Dirty Skirty going to follow them around. This is going to be a nice off angle here if they can all swing over it together.
Dirty Skirty looking to get a bit of a flank off while the rest of them pushing in the main building, but no, they're all going together. They all see where they are, and it looks like they're trying to back off, but Slob on my Rob will take a little bit of damage. They're saying, no, you're not backing off. If you back off, we will punish that. And they realize that, you know, we can do this because we have the high ground, we have everything we need. And it looks like that they are able to do that and then leave because, I don't know, they don't want to leave this. They don't want to get stuck in the zone. So they're just going to go. They're going to head to zone, and they're going to play it safe, not really fight anyone. Hopefully. Maybe they'll find another engagement. But on Swansea takes out an N9 player. They did really good last match, but looks like one of them is already being taken down.
Yeah, N9 might be in some trouble. Slob on my Rob and company also doing some nice rotation strategies there. Rundown maybe running it down yet again over here. We see Danger getting pretty aggressive. The focus of attention does not get anybody. People trying to go up that zip tower, and they are going to get it. Oof. That is always scary, though, going up one of those towers right in front of somebody. Resi it was that ended up so low. One hitter. In a
the real McCoy
very
trying
scary
to pass
position.
Through. Takes a little bit of damage. Takes even more. Will have to heal up a decent amount. In 99, they don't even have their last boy MNK's banner, let alone health. And Uncontrolled gets taken down, with Derpy being the last one alive and taking so much damage in the water. He has no cover. He has to get behind this rock. He's one shot. They're going to realize that he's one shot, and they're going to try and push him. He will get the shield battery off by the looks of it, but the micro drones come out, and they're going to realize this. The grenade comes out. He gets good damage on. He cracks the shield, but he's already so low again. That's boy right there, or big. That's big right there, and they know where he is, and they're going to go out for blood by the looks of it. Derpy trying to get out. He will take the gravity cannon to try and leave by the looks of it.
That'll give him a little bit of breathing room, but he's going to need to get back into zone at some point. Here comes Apex Goons. Not sure if they know that there's a rat directly to their left. They've got that seer, but he's not really using his passive to the best of his abilities right now. Always got to be clearing out your angles. Another win there for ATF. They're looking pretty good. Run down. Trying to stop this res. They break open the door. That'll get someone to stop a res, but CGL gets very, very low, but ends up getting to live. ATF is going to go down, finally. Now it's
Looks like
Rundown
we're gonna
getting
get a
pushed.
third party on this fight. Cyril will detect them, though, unless they're very careful, which I don't think they need to be. Apex Goons, they're stuck in this with all those boxes there. They cannot get out that door. They're gonna have to try and get out another way. And CPT throwing in all the nades, getting all of this utility out, trying to get these kills, because they know that this is going to be very big for them if they get this. They get the stick off
nice
on the seer.
stick.
Tons of damage down. They knock the first one. Doesn't look like they're able to get the second one. And CPT will get their first player knocked down. But that's the last. Apex Goons have been eliminated, but that's the seer. They are all detected by the looks of it. And HTK on top of the building. They know where everyone is. They use their Horizon ult to try and get everyone stuck together.
Yeah, this is quite the fight on this building. This should not be happening, but teams are just very insistent on dying early. Everybody wants to just fight, get 3 kills, and die. That's the plan right now, though HTK doesn't even seem like they're going to be able to manage that. They got taken down so quickly here.
And HTK's entire
man.
team's being eliminated.
CPT just cooked HTK. They tried to come in on that third party, and they bit off a bit more than they could chew there with You Look Lonely, Eugen, and Tragic.
We have 9 teams remaining. That's less than half that is in normal lobby. In this one specifically, that would be exactly half, and we're not even at final zone yet. This is not looking too good at all. Codeine Crazy surviving longer than usual, but they are on the edge of zone. Looks like Codeine Crazy will have to take a lot of heals if he wants to get out of this correctly.
Yeah, they're going to be getting crazy pretty soon, I think, here on the edge of zone. They're going to have to fight some teams if they want to build any space towards the center of circle. They're going to need to either use, say, a jump tower, like we saw them having, to fly right over teams like One Hitter, or they're going to have to punch their way through.
Looks like Glue 3 and the rest of the team are just going to be taking this road all the way to zone, while Rezi takes a lot of damage. One Hitters are in trouble, but they find a shield battery in the crate that they're looting. Going to give them a lot of value. And Bernie the Third takes so much damage. He's going to have to call that out and do a lot of things to get back. Looks like the UNCW are taking their jump tower, trying to get edge zone, but they will not take that, actually. They're still just outside, trying to get fights. Get a decent amount of damage off. That probably will not be nearly enough, though, to get themselves back in this.
Looks like the admin might agree with me. See that little server-wide message that says, guys, play smart. This isn't ranked. It's nice to know someone agrees with me. The side of UNCW, they've got a beautiful spot up on that hill for sort of putting out that damage, but the issue is the zone is going to push them right off of there. And Rezi just misses those shots by just a little bit and gets punished for it. Glue going to go down as well, and that is Bernie and Cody and Crazy looking pretty crazy.
They're very crazy. And Tsunami, we haven't seen them almost all game yet, but they know what they're doing. They are on that point. And
99's last man standing, just hanging out up there. He's got that Sheila. I would hate to see Tsunami just get mowed down by a Sheila that they didn't even know was there. But look at him up there hanging out on the rock.
I didn't notice exactly where you were talking about, but yeah, they have no clue.
No
If they
clue
try and set
at
up
all.
here, then that could be GG's.
Derpy's got to be careful, though. They've got that Horizon lift. He could be dead in, boom, a heartbeat. Nice and quiet. Savage is going to go down, though. We haven't seen them find too much success. It is going to be FF, a pretty good team fighting team. We'll see if they can make it to the end game here, though. Looks like they are in a spot of trouble. They are getting pushed in this sliver of building that they have left. They've got pretty good control of the top floor, though, so they will probably be all right.
Yep, they're trying to expand their entire level to the bottom, but Big has completely overtaken another building, which isn't in zone. They're gonna have to find a way out, and Big taking a decent amount of damage. They don't have shields left, but it looks like they're trying to fight. They're letting him in, and that's gonna do a lot of bad for them. And both of their players are dead. They haven't gotten a single kill yet either. That's the first knock. He has to play around the shield if he wants to live, and he will not be able to take that, and Big will be eliminated from the match.
Some Winston-style shield dancing there, but not quite what you needed there if you are the side of Big. Definitely looking for more damage on the entry there. So we see Tsunami finding their way just right towards the center of this zone. They need to work their way into the next zone, though. They want to have any shot. Andrew 3 getting chunked down by this bow check here.
Yeah, they have completely avoided their style of any, like, taking this area and we're going to hold this, I guess. And they're just trying to fight this. They will get EMP'd by Coding Crazy, taking a lot of damage from that. Andrew 3 gets taken down already by Bernie the 3rd. Andrew 1 as well. Andrew 2 is going to be the last one alive. He probably has to just play that safety if he wants to live here. But no, he will. Oh, this is Andrew 3. Andrew 2 is somewhere.
It is not good either way you spin it for Tsunami. Cody Crazy looking very nice again in that fight. I am resisting the urge to make some joke about how they are crazy. Clearly, I'm not doing a very good job. Tsunami just hanging out down here in the water. This is definitely a decent rat spot. Just got to put away your gun and hope nobody sees you.
And CPT taking a lot of damage for that 70 damage he got, which isn't an amazing trade. And they're just going to be sitting in this building for the rest of however long is going to be in the zone. Which, by the looks of it, will only be known for a little bit. And they will have this building in zone. That could be very big for them. FF, on top of this, trying to get them out. They are using everything that they can, by the looks of it, to hold them out of this building, try and get them to release this and fight them.
And if you look at FF, they've got that catalyst, so they are more suited for building fighting. You already saw it once. They put the catalyst door up so that nobody else could open the door, but oh man, Yunjin gets on that height, takes a nice chunk of damage with that R9. He's going to try to do it again, but this time he is going to get punished for it. Going to have to take a battery, hang out, sit down for a minute. Things quiet down. FF still on the roof, looking to get active here. The roof isn't a bad spot to play, though, if they do decide they want to share. Forever Dreamerson, not big on sharing. He might have skipped that part of preschool. He is going to take down Yunjin.
And he's going for the next, but the Horizon ult's going to move him all around. And almost got taken down by an Arc Star, but he barely dodges that. FF down 1, but Fates and Forever Dreamerson will be able to take this down and take back up Logan.
Really nice work there. I think it was Forever Dreamerson who really opened things up with that first challenge on the roof, and then working his way inside to really challenge the push on the inside. But now here's Cody and Crazy trying to get involved too in a building fight. Lot going on, and Andrew 2.
Andrew 2 still sitting down there.
Just sitting.
Looks like we have UNCW taking the high ground on the building just above them, which I don't know how that's going to work, because from what we've seen these people in the building be very strong at just peeking up, getting a ton of damage, and then going back down. So if they don't be careful, they could take a ton of damage, and that is what I'm saying. That is a ton of damage. That's 2 bars already from Dreamerson.
Yeah, they are doing a great job on that height. FF should win this game. They're in the winning position, and they have nobody on the height with them to challenge them. They could just force these 2 teams on the ground to fight, clean that up, and then hunt the rat, and that would be game over.
Looks like UNCW are facing a lot of pressure from Catalyst, Utility, Arc Stars, everything you can think of that's going to take them off of this angle. And Slasher's going to take a lot of damage from inside the building. And the Arc Star's going to come down and take him down. Slasher's going to be the first one down on UNCW. They're going to try to take him back up. But oh my god, Forever Dreamerson's going to find our boys from Tsunami and take him down by the looks of it. Andrew 2, last one on the team and last one eliminated, taking out the 4th place. 3 teams remaining.
Looks like Cody and Crazy is doing a pretty good job of starting to establish some position on the low ground, though. They did take out one of the members of UNCW, maybe 2. Things seem to be a little bit troublesome for UNCW stuck in the ground. It does look like Slasher got back up on his feet. And that zone is going to start moving in a few seconds. Things are going to get very ugly on this low ground, and FF kind of could just watch.
Yeah, they don't have to do anything. They don't even have to watch, because if they watch, then they might get a little bit of damage from the low ground. But these 2 teams have to fight each other. If they don't, it's going to be very awkward.
This is a clear play for second moment for Cody.
However, Dreamerson getting a lot of damage from the high ground onto that black hole. And he's going to drop. He decides he's too good for this. He takes out UNCW. It's 2 teams remaining. 5 people remaining. 3v2. And that's GG's. FF is the champion of Game 5. 1 more game to go.
Once you saw FF up on that height, up on that high ground, you knew there was no way that they were going to lose that. I could not even begin to fathom how you lose that unless for some reason you slide down and, I don't know, knock yourself to zone or something. It was a great position to play. Once they won that really tough building fight on the height, that is really what solidified their position and solidified their winning position for that game.
Yeah, that's really big for them. I mean, that high, yeah, as you said, that high ground was humongous. They did not even need to do anything. And those 2 teams low ground, honestly, what I think should have happened is we block off the door, we do something. I mean, there's a catalyst, we had Bangalore smokes, we block that off, and then we just start like fighting for a spot nearby height. That way, like, we don't have to be the team that like they are gonna walk into. Because if we do that, then, you know, they have their spot and we don't have to fight them. Because if we fight them there, then the team on height is just gonna spray us. So I don't know. I think that would have been a decent strategy. I don't know if it worked, but there wasn't a lot that they could have done there since FF just had so much. And they did so well that game. 16 kills. Again, I mean, as it was said in the friggin' messages, guys, this isn't ranked. Let's play this smart. But they don't need to play this smart. They can run everyone down and still win.
Yeah, and you look at ATF died in 13th place but managed 9 kills. Stuff like that just shows that, maybe teams aren't necessarily taking this as seriously as they could be, but they are getting in good team fighting practice. They're shooting a lot of people. It's not too bad. Ultimately, though, in that end game, Cody and Crazy, they played that right. When you're stuck on the low ground with another team, you've got a team on height that is clearly going to win. It's time to cut your losses and play for second place. And that's what they did. They did a very good job of that. I think that ultimately, 8 kills, second place, not too shabby at all.
Not too shabby at all. And we will be back with our last game of the night after this break.
And welcome back to Console Gaming League. It is Scrim night, and it is our last game of the night. We have played 5 games already, differing in quality, I would say. Some of them we've had some pretty cool end games. Some of them we've had some pretty high kill totals from some teams. But all in all, it's been a pretty good Scrim night.
Yeah, we're going into last game. I don't think any more teams have left yet. So we're going to have 18 teams. We're going to be going in. We're going to have a strong match. Hopefully, we're going to see some really good performances. Maybe some more entertaining end games with more than 3-4 teams at the end. But yeah.
I definitely hope so. A good end game, I think that is what we are all here for, with regarding scrims. So be happy to see it. Console Gaming League has done a pretty good job of hosting so far too. Things have been moving very quickly. It's nice to see. I think we are down to 17 teams this time, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think we're missing 9 people now instead of 6. So that is tough to see. Yeah, it looks like TF141 is also on the outs. Understandable. But still, come on. Sign up for 6 games. You gotta play 6 games.
I didn't even realize there was a TF141.
Oh, I remember those guys. They've been, they didn't have a terrible night. They didn't have a great night. They didn't have a terrible night. You gotta have those not great nights if you want to have those good nights. The streamer, Brother Enoch, he's always talking about the slingshot. You know, anytime you're doing something bad, it's just because you're pulling back the slingshot in order to launch you forward into the good stuff.
Yep.
Let's land here.
We get into this.
See.
Definitely going to be looking for those contests. The one at Cascade Falls, that was a pretty good fight last time that I believe ATF has just wiped that pretty cleanly both times. I'll be interested to see if the if Prime Champions have any wish to continue that fight. Looks like they might.
That is an interesting choice to continue to challenge where we have lost so many times. But it does seem like every team's going to their normal spot. Yeah. We will see ATF go there. And it looks like Prime Champions are also heading to Cascade Falls. Which, let's see, maybe the Prime Champions can pull it into their prime and beat them? Who knows?
We're back with our friends, the Apex Goons over here, though. On Mill, one of the most contested parts of any map in Apex Legends. Everybody wants a piece of Mill.
It looks like the Goons have a decent location drop, so we will see how this goes for them. They don't have any contest by the looks of it, but we're going to see how long this lasts.
They do have this team on the other side. It looks like they are going to be pushing blue-blue-purple versus blue-white-white. It is almost time to just run away. It is almost time to just run away if I'm Goons. If I see this purple armor on this guy, I am booking it out of there. Fight is kicking off, though. Goons holding their own to start things out, despite the armor disadvantage. HyperX swinging. Day One is also going to swing, put in a little damage, take a little damage. This is a tough poke battle right now. They do open with that first knock. You Look Lonely is going to fall. Ooh, but then the trade comes right back. HyperX goes down as well.
Oh, Spen gets a lot of damage down, but he also gets his armor cracked as well. He gets the second knock of the game, and there's a lot of teams trying to contest this. He will have to back up by the looks of it. And they have to get their last man alive if they want a good chance of taking this match back on their side.
Yeah, CPT losing that it's really tough to see with that armor advantage they had. They could have just pushed, pressed W key, and probably won that. AAC, meanwhile, gets to come in and clean up some of the pieces here. Oh, hitting the spam finisher on a guy you didn't even knock is a little bit cringe if you ask me, but they're having a good time over here.
And we didn't even see it, but the Prime Champions were eliminated. So I guess their time at the Falls were not worth it.
Yeah, that's a 3-0 for ATF over there at Cascade Falls. You definitely don't you don't want to open Twitter if you're in Pro League and you get 3-0'd in the contest after scrims.
Looks like we have a bunch of people playing over in this western area of the map. Our boys, Day One of KBM, they are, all of them over there, they are just in a little bit of a pinch to the other teams at these bigger POIs.
Yeah, and looks like to me, Tsunami here, they did take some damage, but they are just going to be able to craft up these digis, play things basically as slow as they want. This seems like the kind of zone that's going to either end all the way to the left towards that cannon near wall, or it's going to end in these trenches right in front of Tsunami. So either way you play it, I think this is going to be a pretty good zone for them.
I think Tsunami is hoping for this zone over by trenches just because they always do really well whenever it is. So if that happens, I think that they're very much going to have a good chance of getting their first win. But Goons are going to take some good damage. It's a 1v2 by the looks of it here. And Day 1 of KVM will be taken out, and Goons will be eliminated as the third team out. They've had such a good night before it goes down.
AAC is doing a lot of BM for a team in the middle of the leaderboard. So we head back over to the north side of the map. IMC getting done here by TRS. Looks like Glue, Resi, and McCoy, though, might have something to say about it.
They will be trying to wait out, fight these people as soon as they get out of their fights, and they know that there's people here. And also, I don't think they should fight this, but you know, it definitely feels like these teams, they're done. It's game 6. They're trying to just go for the kills. There's already been 3 teams eliminated. First zone hasn't even cleared. I wouldn't be surprised if these teams just run it down at this point.
And that is how it goes sometimes, any old scrim block. What I'm curious about is what was up with that Wraith team that just rotated, looks like towards wall. Because they had a really nice spot in the middle of circle, and they ended up heading towards wall. Here comes Apex Goons. Trying to do a little bit of work here. There goes one of the members of AAC. Looks like all that spam finishing and box shooting is catching up with them here.
They already have lost Trash and Beep. So they're going to either need to collect that banner or try to do something here to get this playing field back on their side.
Absolutely.
The Apex Goons, they're doing better than usual.
They're looking to put together a pretty good showing in this fight here. They've got AAC trapped on the roof. Now they need to get up there without anybody getting one clipped. You've got to be able to trade knocks here at the very least, and hopefully just get a clean little 3v2 wipe here.
Swanzini, John Z, and Stanky just all taking this building. They want this, and they're not going to let anyone else have this. So they're just holding this. They're holding this to all their heart's content. But AAC will be seen, and they're trying to get a beacon. They don't know where the beacons are because there's none near them. But you know, they're gonna try and go for one. And if they don't get it, and I think you were right that the zone will not be going towards trenches this match. So we'll see how this ends up playing because a lot
might
of
even
teams
end up
here.
back towards checkpoint. We'll see. This is quite the pull. Looks like Wiser trying to get away. ATF, meanwhile, in quite a bit of trouble. They did get Xylux there. But Dirty Skirty playing that Pathfinder. He does go down. It is tough to play Pathfinder, let me tell you. He's got a bigger hitbox than Gibraltar.
Does he really? Oh my god.
Yeah, Pathfinder's got a refrigerator-sized hitbox. But, you know, doesn't have any of the defensive stuff that all these other guys with big hitboxes have.
Yeah, because they get the damage reduction, which he will not receive.
Exactly. So we see Dino, last man standing for TRS here. Meanwhile, ATF has got 2 guys up, and they're going to maybe call in a returning Dirty Skirty here. Bring him back into the action. Rhino might have something to say about it, though. Oh, gets that force.
Doesn't seem like he can.
Oh,
big damage.
Rhino
and he will
goes
get taken
down.
If it wasn't
Rob
for
comes
Solve
in
my
with a
Rob,
nice flank. Yeah. And here comes that res. Gonna have to see if this draws in anybody trying to get a free kill off of this res.
I would not be surprised if it does, but if not, There's so many loot boxes in this area. He will have a whole loadout for this end of the game.
That's awful nice, though, as Slasher gets brought back in at almost the exact same time. So maybe too many reses for people to choose from, and they both get them off clean.
Dunkin' Donuts taking a little bit of damage here. But the Savages, they're just trying to base up, not really care about what's happening. They're just saying, I'm going to play my game, I'm going to shield up, I'm going to take some damage, I'm going to give some damage, I'm going to do my thing. And Team Tsunami doing their thing as usual. They predict the zone, which is, I think, the first time in the Storm Point entire map set that we've had this happen.
Yeah, we haven't really seen Tsunami have that same luck with the zone pulls, so it's nice to see them get back on board predicting those zones. We see Big maybe get into a little bit of action here on this building against ATF. ATF has done a good job of holding this building down so far, though. We'll see if that changes here. Big pushing in. Gonna try to take the stairs, but Soul just jumps right in and gets immediately folded. I'm not sure if he maybe had no idea that there was a full team below him. Now the push comes in on the stairs. We gonna get taken down, though.
Traded.
That is ultimately a trade. Skirty and Rob now going to try to push here. Skirty maybe gets a little bit too aggressive, though, down the stairs. Rob does get a knock, but then gets absolutely lasered in the back. So, nice fight there from Big, but honestly, that felt like more of a misplay from ATF.
Yeah, they shouldn't have pushed that far down one at a time. You played a 2v3. That was unwinnable.
It was tough.
I don't know what the point was there.
You've got all those doors on that bottom floor, doors, windows, all this stuff to shoot through. You just got to be a little bit of patience would do you well there. But ultimately, it's a good fight for Big. They secure some KP, they secure some points, and they secure that side of zone. And here it is going to bounce back towards the trenches. This is why, you know, these north side zones, they can be a little unpredictable. So it does seem like Savages are going to have to move eventually. They've got a lot of space to work with. But as you get closer to those center trenches, you start having to worry about every single angle around you.
And at this point, there's still enough teams to the point where, like, anyone can come from anywhere. So if someone just finds Savages from their backs, that will ruin their entire setup. And they're going to have to rotate, or they're going to have to do some nice stuff. And this is exactly what happens. Noble Gamer takes a ton of damage. FF, I mean, he has a lot of shield batters. He can do whatever he wants. And probably get away with it. Unless they decide to full push him. Because he is somewhat alone here. But they don't want to do that. They have a whole setup here.
They do have this entire setup. FF. As bloodthirsty as usual. I'm expecting to see Fates press the W key here. And surprise, surprise. Actually, surprisingly, he does decide to turn it around. Wait for his teammates here.
FF, one of the more W gaming teams we've come across tonight. Deciding to fall back. Not entirely sure.
I think they want to hold out the team that's in the that's behind them still. They know that there's a team still in one of those donut buildings behind them. They want to hold them out more than they want to get the kills on that res.
Three teams, 3 buildings here. One of them, maybe 2, are in the zone. But that third one, Bernie the Third and friends, they're going to have to rotate in somehow, get past Big, and do all that.
Actually, I think it's vice versa. I think Bernie and Codeine Crazy, I think they are in, but it looks like Rundown here is on the outside. They've got that Bangalore, so they should be able to smoke off the building in front of them, take either the top or the bottom floor, whatever's open to them. Meanwhile, FF, here they are in the action. finding some fighting in this trench area, and UNCW gets absolutely folded.
FF already taking out a full team. That's very big for them. That's 10 teams remaining. All they have to do now is just like survive it out, get a lot of damage in. That's very big for them. They could just push this if they thought that they could, and honestly, I think that they can because they've been doing it all game.
Here is AAC again, still down their guy, but they have managed to get a pretty good position and pretty good armors here, sitting at the top of checkpoint. If they can wipe this whole side of zone, they might actually have a chance to play for endgame.
And here we go. The buildings have somehow, teams have been able to collaborate with each other and combine 2 teams in one building.
Yeah, it looks like actually 3 teams maybe on this bigger building here. The name of the game in Scrims is to coexist. You definitely want to learn to live with another team below you or above you.
Because as soon as you go up, it's going to happen. Exactly what happened to ADF.
Enemy spotted.
Yep. That plus third parties. If you look, you can see all these teams are just waiting for one of the teams to make a bad move.
Jonathan here could get a very big EMP for his team. If he gets that...
Oof. Chauncey just gets knocked right off of that zip. That was maybe a mistake to try and take it. 99 goes down to Tsunami.
Looks like he's
Kill
going
feed
for
meanwhile,
it.
and it looks like Stanky and
damage.
Johnsy. Big Renok gonna come in. And honestly, it
upgraded
seems
his
like
shield,
the
I
team on the
think.
roof is just donezo. Cooked.
Run down. Taking out a couple more people. Water offers will be taken down while he's trying to Phoenix kit. Another one, Ultrasonic Beast gets taken down. Run down, 1 player left. They use the shield as but it will not do anything big in a fight. We will be able to heal all the way up. Oh no, Jonathan, after that big EMP, he is out for blood. He wants everything. He takes out the golden knockdown shield. He says no more of this. He tries looting up, but from behind him, he takes a little bit of damage. Bernie the Third going out once more damage for his stats for this game. He says, I am not treating this like a scrim. This is my ranked lobbies. These are my ranked enemies.
Definitely putting them down like they are. That is another knock there for Bernie. Codeine Crazy, after a great showing last game, looks like they're on the verge of doing it again. But this is one of the toughest rotations in the game, in my opinion. Going from these buildings to this zone. I don't think I've ever gotten it right in all my time playing this game, and it doesn't seem like AAC is going to have much of a chance at it. They get absolutely crushed there by Codeine Crazy. And now Codeine Crazy, they're going to do their best here, but if FF sees them, FF is going to make their lives very difficult.
I think this is Codeine Crazy's longest run in a game yet tonight. So we will see if they can take this all the way for the win. 5 teams remaining. All they got to do. Tsunami with a very good high ground position here. Looking for extra damage. Do not try and fight the people rotating by the looks of it. HTK trying to make a fight happen. And they're winning it surprisingly well. Honestly, they are doing very well here. They have a lot of shields left. And they have a knockdown. It's like they're going for the finish. They do in fact take it. And now they just gotta destroy all this leftover utility and get that left. And Codeine Crazy, what happened? They had such a good position. They had 3 people left, and now they're down to 1. Bernie the Third, last player alive. He's gonna have to rat it out as long as possible. HTK, they're not in zone, but they have a really good setup. If anyone tries pushing them, it's over for them. But if they don't push, then it's over for them.
Ultimately, it was FF who took out one of the members of Codeine on that rotation because, again, that rotation is just so tough to make. And then they ended up getting bottled up here by this Caustic team who took out another one of them, and now Codeine Crazy, last man standing territory.
Tsunami gets a lot of damage down.
Tsunami looking very good.
Already in the zone by the looks of it. And Andrew, too, not with his teammates, just kind of in the open. But Andrew 3 taking a lot of damage through the wall. He will be throwing his black hole into the middle of that fight. Uses his thermal scope to see everyone through the Bangalore smokes. Gets a lot of damage, but they can see the bullet tracers too. And he has no shield to heal himself, or at least no cover to do it. And he's gonna have to make these very, very rough, scrabby fights happen. And Andrew 1, Andrew 3, Andrew 2, by the looks of it, but he's able to get away. Will go for a shield barrier, but both his teammates are taken down. Does he have a med kit? No, he does not. He tries to go for the finish, but he realizes he has the shield up. He gets one. Tries to go for the other one. Walks through the thermal. Takes another one, and HTK.GG will be the winner of Game 6.
Again, it was the team that was patient, the team that waited, let everybody else fight, walked in, swooped in for the W. Didn't really take much on the side of HTK other than playing some really smart positioning and using the caustic utility to really drive other teams off of their spots. So I think, again, it just goes to show you that playing that center zone is just the best thing you can possibly do when you've got the right loadouts for it, when you've got the right legend picks for it. Being in the middle of zone, convincing other teams to fight instead of you having to do the fighting, it's always going to work out in your favor.
That was really big for them. And, you know, they didn't even have a lot of kills. They killed one team at the very end, and that was all that they did. They played that so passively, so well. They never quickly rotated. They played it patiently, and that was very smart of them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, you know, FF looks good, 13 kills, third place. So ultimately they score 20 points for that game, while HTK only gets 15. So, you know, it does kind of stink when, you walk out with the win, but you don't score the most points in the lobby. But at the end of the day, that is a nice game to go home on for HTK after I don't think they've really found a ton of success on World's Edge or our earlier Stormpoint games. We look at the rest of the teams. FF, I think, solidified themselves a really good fighting team. Tsunami did beat them in that last fight, though, for second place. So, again, Tsunami, I think, put together a really good showing. They won, or I think they ended up with a lot of second places. I'm not sure if they actually managed to get a win, but really good work from their IGL, getting them into good winning positions.
I don't even think Tsunami's hit a second place yet. They usually come like fourth, maybe third. It's been not great matches for them. And they always get to the end. They never back out early, but you know this was the match. This was the match that they said we are making it top 3, top 2, and they did it. They did what they wanted. They didn't hit top 1, but you know they don't need top 1. They know that they're good enough as they are.
Yeah, absolutely. They did a really good job. I think that a lot of these teams, they came in, they played their games. They might have pushed a little too much instead of rotating when they should have, but all things considered, it's a pretty good block of scrims. And Console Gaming League, they did a great job running them. Hopefully more people will check out their website, check out their Discord, sign up for scrims and tournaments going forward in the future. But for now, from the production team, myself and Cherry, good night and thank you for watching.